Okay, so after going through the comments from yesterday's video, we had to do one here today. A couple of reasons. The first is that I said that this Saturday we were going to run the car at Bottle Rocket at Buffalo Valley, which is the only track that's open currently because of this nonsense. So they're the only track. They're very overcrowded, and this weekend they're running a big dollar bracket race Friday and Saturday. So there won't be a test and tune session until next Saturday. They're only limiting people to 2 time shots this weekend, and given the fact that Lamb Chop's never been down a drag strip, never raced a 4-speed car, we need a lot more than 2 time shots and a more relaxed atmosphere to actually do that. The second is, okay, lots of comments on the thermal quad. You guys, all right, several of you guys were talking about the spring, the adjustment right here for the spring. The factory adjustment is 1.5 to 1 3/4 turns, and the purpose of that is to return the air door to closed, and also so that it follows this actuator rod, right? That's the reason for this. You don't tune through that. Have you ever actually opened the throttle of a running engine? Do you realize how much air is going through there? I could sneeze and open this, even at its tightest setting. This has nothing to do with tuning out the bog. All of that is done over here. Do a little research, do your homework before you make comments, okay? Now, also, this is the carburetor that was on the car. It's currently off the car again. And this time around, I have to find a good base plate for it. There's a little too much play in the throttle shaft over here, and the musical idle is driving me crazy. And then I've also got the eternal fuel seepage out of this thing. So back to the drawing board with this for the time being. I'm going to put it on the side. I got other things to do with the car. Now, the other thing, many comments about, you wanted to see it run. I know, I'm sorry. What happens is I get into the mode of turning wrenches, and making videos is the last thing that's on my mind. And I figured, well, we would just save the running around part for when we have more of a finished product. But I understand you guys want to see it run. So let's take it for a ride. I took the quad is off for right now. It's got a, oh, by the way, I drilled the secondary jets on this thing, and it made all the difference in the world as far as the secondary performance goes. But I took a good Edelbrock 600 that I had sitting on the shelf. I threw it on there just so that the car is mobile while I do that, and it's running good now. So let's take it for a ride. So as we said at the beginning of this series, we wanted a car perfect daily driver. Now what does that mean? It means a lot of things to a lot of different people. But to me, see, I've already got cars. I got plenty of cars that go rump, 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 and do all sorts of things, right? I wanted a car that had absolutely seamless power, had a quiet factory sound to it, so there's no headers on this thing, and of course, good gas mileage. And this thing worked out, so far, it's worked out perfectly. Now, it's untuned. I mean, literally, the points are gapped by eye. The distributor is dropped into where it's just not pinging, right? It's completely untuned. So it's about as raw as you can get in the state. And so far, it's a winner. The thing is quiet, it's smooth. This car was like, it felt like light and responsive, light and peppy with the 318. With this 360 in here, it's like weightless. The car is just a blast to flick around. It has that nice factory smoothness, factory quietness to it. But she'll get up and scoot. It's a little damp out here today. And to be honest with you, the car's got a 7 1/4 rear. A hard launch or two with bite and this thing, and it will grenade that rear. So we're not changing the rear because, again, it's a driver, it's not a drag racer. So, well, we can hit it a little bit here. A little bit of an exhaust leak. You can't tell, right, by the video. I know you can't tell by the video because you can't feel it. But like the magic happens with this combination at about 4,000 RPM in second gear. It's like this like torque thing just comes along and just like shoves the car forward. It's happy. It's perfect. And what that is that's those small runners and the small valves. That high velocity combination is more or less supercharging the motor at that RPM, 3,500, 4,500 RPM, right there in that range. That's where it's the happiest. Ran at several exits out on the interstate. Perfect, smooth, cruises 75, 80 miles an hour. It's got a 294 gear set in it. I may go to 270s just to make it even a little bit more highway friendly, or I may go to a slightly taller tire. I gotta put tires on this thing anyway. So, I mean, that's it. It's a happy car. It has the feel of a, best way I could explain the feel of this thing is it's like a good 1968, 69, 70 340. That's pretty much exactly what it feels like. And I know there's more in it. And this carburetor right now is easy 200 CFM too small for this thing. It wants an 800, it wants an 850. But so that's it. For those of you guys that want to see how it ran and all that, well, here you go. There'll be much more running around with this car once we get it closer to being, the finished product. But for right now, I really want to stop with all of this end of it and get to work on the body and the paint aspects. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the ride. See you tomorrow.